Baby. We're going live, baby. We are on. Hey guys, how you going today on BKRsport? Gee whiz, this is this World Cup starting to take it out of me, eh? It really is. But look, today guys, we're going to be sitting here chatting about the Rugby League World Cup so far. Obviously, I know that a lot of you guys are obviously asleep when the games are on, as I would assume most of you will be tomorrow morning when we're on live for Tonga versus Wales. So I thought we may as well jump on here, have a little bit of a chat about what's going on. Obviously, these power rankings are from last week's power rankings, so these will be updated on Thursday. We'll do a Thursday night live stream. Oh, probably Friday, actually, sorry, because we're doing something on Thursday, but a Friday night live stream, we'll be doing our power rankings for next week. But yes, we've just left them there for the time being, but they will adjust, not too drastically, but they will obviously adjust for next week. But yeah, today, guys, we're just going to be sitting here chatting about what's going on in the Rugby League World Cup at the moment. Obviously, chill out a little bit, and then yeah, tomorrow morning we've still got 2 games to go, which is Tonga versus Wales at 4 a.m. tomorrow, and then on Wednesday we've got, on Tuesday we've got Papua New Guinea versus Cook Islands to finish us all off, which will be a nice little game, that one. It'll be a nice little game, but yeah, obviously guys, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new here. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. Littlefin says, bloody wipeout. James says it's coming home. I love this because this is obviously from an English fan here. So I just want to clarify. So you're saying it's coming home. England have never won the World Cup before. So that means that obviously it can't be coming home because England have never won the World Cup before. So that means that technically you're talking about either Australia or New Zealand. And Australia's won 8 out of 9 of those. So you're probably actually alluding to Australia coming home. So thank you very much for getting behind the Aussies there, Mr. Englishman. I appreciate that. Jude is cool. A video says, hello. Hello, mate. How you doing? Brunswick says, evening, guys. That man says hi. Brighton says, you'd think PNG will roll Cook Islands. You'd assume so. I don't believe the Cook Islands have ever beaten Papua New Guinea before. I don't think they've ever beaten them before. So, yeah, I would assume that they do obviously get the job done there. But let's go through a couple of results that have obviously happened so far. So the first game here that did happen on Saturday was the Australia versus Scotland game. And as you can see, it was an absolute blowout. 84-0 there to Australia. Addo was absolutely fantastic. He scored probably going to be the try of the World Cup alongside Matty Burton, obviously. He scored 4 tries. Absolutely fantastic. Was it 4 tries or 3 tries? Addo there, Addo there, Addo there, and Addo there. So he scored 4 tries. With Jack White scoring a double as well. Campbell Graham also had a hat-trick. So, yeah, it was just an absolute onslaught there from the Aussies, 84 to Zipparuno. Cleary was fantastic. The whole Australian team was fantastic. The Scottish team honestly looks like they just did not care whatsoever. It really was quite poor from them. And now they get to take on Fiji, who obviously looked very, very good on the weekend against the Italians, who already have beaten Scotland quite well as well. So I definitely think that Scotland, yeah, this has been a really, really poor World Cup for them. Really disappointing. Definitely expected a lot more from them, but obviously it just hasn't been for their liking at all, even though it is up there in the Northern Hemisphere, close to them. But yeah, they just haven't worked out. And 84-0, it could have been worse. It could have been bigger. It was a very rain-affected day. You know, there were still a few mistakes made by Australia, but overall they looked fantastic in wet weather conditions, which is what the biggest, I guess, confusing mark is on Australia. Are they going to be able to match it with England in those wet conditions? And I do believe that game there clearly proves that Australia are very, very, very hot favourites for this World Cup still, as we know. All right, next game here. We went to the Fiji versus Italy game, and Fiji had to bounce back. They really did. They had to really bounce back heavily, and that's exactly what they were able to do. 60-4 was the score over the Italians, who had a pretty good win against Scotland last week. Obviously, Fiji lost by about 34 points to Australia, which wasn't that bad of a result for them. It was actually a pretty good result for them. But yeah, you look through, Viliami Kikau obviously scored a couple of tries there. Kevin Nangama scored a fantastic try. Micah Sivo, a double. And Penioni Tangitui Mua, who I've been saying for a long time is a very good player. He really killed in that number 9 because Apiso Kodasau actually played in the 5'8" role. He was actually the 6th in this game. So, yeah, it was an interesting layout by the Fijians, but they had to bounce back and bounce back well, and that's exactly what they did. So, they will definitely take that. I do think that Brandon Wakeham, I will say in regards to the commentary, what is it? Brandon Wakeman was one of them. We had Tui Kamakakai for Tui Kamikamitha. We had, who else was there? There was a heap of other names. That were just absolutely terribly pronounced. It's like you can forgive one, you can kind of forgive, but damn, like what was the other one that was really, really bad? Oh yeah, Sunya Turave. They called him Sunya Turave, not Sunya Turuva. Or if you want to just say Turuva, I don't really care, but Turave, how do you even get Turave in the commentary? So that was the most disappointing thing about this game, was that obviously we did see The commentary just didn't know what they were talking about. They're arguing against referees for shit that was obviously, the referee was in the right. Like, I'll argue with referees, but I'm only arguing when I know there's something incorrect there, which obviously it usually does end up being incorrect. The commentary was arguing. I just think they need to get better commentary. It was terrible. It was just terrible. But back to Fiji, yeah, they were fantastic. They looked really good. Bounced back well. I saw someone earlier in the day today say something about, like, why is Australia on top of that table over there when Fiji had a big bounce back. It's because Australia won 84-0, man, and they've already won one time against the team that you said last week. So they are the most impressive team through the 2 weeks so far. But yeah, Italy looked good first week. Jake Mason at least got a try there to kind of get through for Italy, so they didn't get ducked. But still, 64, Italy not looking good. Fiji looked very good going into that Scotland game next week, and they should win that game by a very vast amount as well. Like, they should win by a very similar amount, if not more. But alright, we go now into the England versus France game, which does definitely need a little bit of context here. So England obviously did win the game. Was it impressive? Absolutely not. This was a really, really confusing one because England looked like they were going to dominate this game and really looked like they were going to get an impressive win. But it was 12. It went to 18-0, and we thought, okay, it's done here. France there before half time went bang bang with 2 tries, made it 18-12, and it was actually super close. It actually got really close. And I thought France. I didn't ever think they were going to win the game. I always thought that France were going to lose, and England was still going to find a way to win. But it was really good, good game up until just after half time, where the referee made a call, which was I think it was the Elliot Whitehead try. It was in the 44th minute. The Elliot Whitehead try was blatantly wrong, right? There was 3 plays that the English players ran behind, which is obviously classed as an obstruction, and then there was a clear forward pass that went forward by about 2 metres on the play. It was very forward. The commentary talked about it, I talked about the comments were talking about it, and it really just killed the game there. And it's like, I always knew that England were going to win the game, but it's really disappointing when you see something like that, where the scoreline then just starts to blow out because you see an incorrect call that did favour one of the opposition. It's crazy how, for some reason, referees aren't seeing forward passes for England. Like, that's 2 weeks in a row now. We had one last week where, obviously, England scored a forward pass try, which was pretty bad, but they won that game pretty convincingly over Samoa anyway. But this game, it was definitely, you should have been seeing it. You definitely should have been seeing that one. So, yeah, disappointing there. England were okay. They weren't anything special, that's for sure. France were decent. They definitely weren't anything special, but Arthur Morg played pretty well, scored himself a try, obviously got 3 from 3 in regards to conversions. Really not a big fan of Tony Jojo. I'm not a big fan of their 7, who apparently, as Sebastian was telling us, that his team got relegated last season in the Super League, so it does kind of make sense. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Tony Jojo. I don't think that he's really fluent with his ball playing. I don't think his kicking is good at all. I think, he scored 1 great try individually, or did he set it up? No, he set it up. It was a nice individual set-up try for Jojo, but that was the best thing he's done in 2 weeks, and the only thing he's done in 2 weeks. I'm not a big fan of Jojo whatsoever. So, I think France, they're definitely, I guess, on the precipice of being, what are they, tier 3, maybe, if they're lucky. I think that obviously Samoa was going to put an absolute score through them next week. But yeah, they did what they could. England, not impressive, but we'll have to see them obviously change that around for next week. But look, next week, who did they get? England, France, Samoa, and who's the other team? Who did Samoa play last time again? I forgot. Greece. Oh yeah, so England will get a really easy win there. All right, next move, we'll go to New Zealand versus Jamaica. I'll get into the chat, obviously, after we go through these games, guys. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here. But next game was New Zealand versus Jamaica. New Zealand, again, unimpressive. It wasn't a fantastic performance. Like, that every time they went down that right-hand side wing with Dallin Martinez-Lesniak, they were definitely going to score. I'm surprised they didn't continuously go down there, because they would have scored 100 if they did. But 68-6, Jamaica scored a try. It was absolutely unbelievable. That's the moment that we look at from that game, not about New Zealand. We didn't look at New Zealand. We looked at Jamaica. We said, oh, wow, they scored a try, and also covered the line. The line was minus 74.5. New Zealand didn't even get that many points, and also Jamaica try definitely wipes that one away. So, yeah, look, this was a good performance by Jamaica. I think that their last 2 games, one against Ireland and one against New Zealand, have actually been relatively positive. Maybe this one more so. This one definitely more so than the last one, but you could definitely clearly still tell the gap between these 2 teams. New Zealand have a lot of work to do if they want to challenge Australia. I'll tell you that right now. New Zealand, if they keep playing like this, they will struggle. I understand Jerome Hughes is out. I understand Dylan Brown was out. But in the same sense, this team really isn't finding what they need in the forwards right now for me. This was where they were meant to be their best at. Their backline is not that great. Look, cool, Lesniak scored 4 or 5 tries, whatever. the fact of the matter is that the back line is not that fantastic. They need their forwards to stand up against the big teams. The quarterfinals are coming, guys. We've got one more game to go next week. One more game to go, then the quarterfinals will come. And then they take on Fiji. Fiji are no pushover. Fiji have made the last 3 semi-finals of the World Cup in a row. And the last time they beat New Zealand in the quarterfinal, which was a different team, mind you. But I'm not impressed by New Zealand at the moment. They need to change a lot if they're going to have any chance of taking down any of the big dogs right now. Next week, who do they play? They've got New Zealand, Jamaica, they already played Lebanon, and they take on Ireland, which will be a sneaky game, but in the same sense, the Kiwis will still put a score through them. So, yeah, look, New Zealand win, cool. We all knew that was going to happen. Not by as much as we thought they'd be. Beating the bye, would have expected at least, what the Scottish score was for Australia, considering that Scotland is a better team than Jamaica. But yeah, look, get around Jamaica, man. They did themselves proud, and I'm happy to see them, give it a go. Give it a go for an emerging nation. All right, next up here we have Lebanon versus the Irish, and it was obviously a Lebanon 32-14 win over Ireland. No idea why Ireland were favourites here. I kept telling you guys, Lebanon should be favourites. They are the better team. I know there's no Adam Dewey, which is a huge loss, but Lebanon are too tough. They're too big, and they've got a lot of NRL talent that just simply are better than that Irish team. Luke Keary hasn't really been doing it. He did it in the first game. It was against Jamaica. The other one, Jimmy Jolliffe from the Gold Coast Titans, he had a few mistakes yesterday. Ran the ball hard, made a few mistakes. It was unfortunate there for Ireland, but they just never were going to get over the top of the Lebanese, who are so passionate about it, and also they just are really, really strong players. I liked what Jacob Carraz did in the game. Mitchell Moses apparently got man of the match, which I found quite odd. I didn't think Mitchell Moses was incredible, but I think he was definitely better than last week, that's for sure. No Dewey provided a lot of positives for that team. They're looking like they're probably going to have to take on Australia in that first week. So unless New Zealand lose to Ireland, Lebanon will have to take on... Actually, no, I think that no matter what, New Zealand are first now. But yeah, Lebanon will have to take on Australia. They're not going to win that game, but at least, create a bit of a positive vibe going into the game. Abbas Miski, definitely if you're an NRL club, look at him. Look at him if you're an NRL club. Abbas Miski is definitely the guy to really... I'll do a video after the group stages of guys that NRL clubs should look at for next season or for a contract in the future. And Abbas Miski will be one of them. So, yeah, no, I thought that was a fantastic performance by the Lebanese, and they will... I think no matter what now, they're actually guaranteed. I think they're guaranteed second spot, because obviously Ireland don't beat New Zealand, and even if Lebanon were to lose to Jamaica, which they're not going to, it wouldn't be by a big enough amount. So, yeah, no matter what, Lebanon are through, which is good for me, because I've got Lebanon in the sweepstakes. All right, last game here to go through, which is Samoa versus Greece. And look, bounce back season, baby. Bounce back. Samoa obviously 72-4 over the Greeks. It was absolutely fantastic here by Samoa, to be honest with you. I think that they still should have scored more, and I think that there were points where they still kind of clocked off a bit at the Eco Power Stadium. But overall, Tim Laffey, geez, where did he go? He went to the Super League apparently. No, wasn't the Dragons, wasn't the Doggies, and he had an absolutely incredible game there, Timmy Laffey. Jerome Luai was fine too. Stephen Crichton was okay. Harris Savita looked very good. I think that Harris Savita is definitely the guy they would have preferred to have gone with last week too. I don't think it changes the score because Samoa went in thinking that they're already the top dogs. But yeah, Shannon Harris Tavita, fantastic in that 7 alongside Jerome Luai, and no, it really worked out well. The good thing for me was that their forwards actually got rolling. Their forwards who are a little bit underwhelming, overall. Junior Paulo and Josh Papali'i, who are 2 guys that have been fantastic in the past and are fantastic still, can go missing, especially with Junior Paulo. And I thought both those guys did very, very well. It's unfortunate that Instagram blocker Josh Aloiai won't be playing for the rest of the tournament, but in the same sense, maybe he can sort himself out when he goes back to play for Manly and actually get that club out of the dumps right now. But yeah, every person on that Samoa team plays fine. But it was Greece. We do have to simmer those expectations. Ilias scored. He was fantastic for Greece. He was my player of the match for Greece, to be completely honest with you. And there was another player from Greece who played very, very well. I think it was Johnny Mitsias is definitely one that an NRL club should look at. Nick Mujios was fine too, but Johnny Mitsias, he is a good little winger, man. He is a good little winger. So no, I really liked Ilias. Rabbitohs have got a good one there, and it was fantastic to see. So, yeah, look, those are the results there, guys. Obviously, we've got 2 more games to go, like I said, which will be Tonga and Wales, and Papua New Guinea Cook Islands. So that will be the end of round 2. But, yeah, let me know your thoughts, and let's get into the chat. Well, let's get into the chat. I'll go back a little bit to see what you guys have been saying. Dasman says, that's why we prefer to listen to you. Exactly right, because the commentary is just dreadful. Levi Ben says, do you know James Tedesco? No, never heard of him, man. Best Sport 2.0 says, do you think this World Cup has been kind of boring? No, I don't. Tupo Kalfusi says, the real World Cup starts in the quarters. Oh, absolutely, Tupo. Absolutely. Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. I think that we're going to stream every game regardless because I have a passion for the sport that I just love watching rugby league, yeah. There are other people out there who obviously just want to do the big games, but for me, I just love watching every single game. And the quarterfinals are going to be absolutely fantastic. But I still have been appreciating seeing these unearthed talent like a Johnny Mitzius or a Nick Mujius or giving Lachlan Ilias some time to really evolve. It's good to see Jacob Kraz kind of open up as that fullback there for Lebanon. Fiji, Panioni, Panguimua. We're not going to see that. If you just watch the finals, the quarterfinals and whatnot, which is the better games, obviously, you're not going to see these talents that aren't known because they're not NRL players or even Super League players to an extent. But Super League players are still, it's good to watch. Like Jack Wellsby. No NRL fan will be able to say they know Jack Wellsby until this tournament now. Jack Wellsby had a very good week 1. Didn't really do too much week 2 because he was on the bench, but, week 3 we might see him again. Week 3 we might be able to see him absolutely slap it again there. George Iram Jr. says, man, the rest of it made a few blinds so far. The rest have been horrific. Absolutely horrific. Riley O'Brien says, Aussie, getting around Aussie. Kenneth says, how good was the Jamaica try? Yeah, it was fantastic. I loved it. Yeah, Jamaica won, mate. Jamaica won because his last try wins. So obviously this team won here in Australia. They beat Scotland 84-0. But in regards to the New Zealand-Jamaica game, I'm liking New Zealand because last try wins. 75th minute, and Brandon Smith, 71st minute. Son of a big fella. Oh no, don't cry to me, New Zealand. Don't cry to me. 75th minute. It's the rules. Jamaica, RV says. It does make sense. Ireland were favourites for some reason. Yeah, I didn't understand that at all. Brunswick said, I think the punters thought it was the 2013 World Cup Ireland squad. What, were they good back then? I can't remember. Marcel says, let's go to Lebanon. Rosa Tomo says, Kira should have been man of the match. Karaz. Yeah, Karaz was a really good shout. I clicked the wrong one there. Where's Lebanon? Lebanon, Ireland over here. Let's go quickly and give us a refresh. A refresh of the players here. It definitely wasn't Rob Mulhern, that's for sure. Yeah, Jacob Kraz was fantastic. Alice Miskey was good. Mitchell Moses was fine. I think Jacob Kraz probably... James Romanis was very good too, but like I said, he was going to be. But Jacob Kraz was the guy for me, absolutely. I thought that was a fantastic performance by him. Debbie says Samoa bounced back. Props to the Samoans. They did, but it was against Greece. So whilst I agree and say, look, fantastic performance there by the Samoans to really deliver again and show that they can be what they can be. I think that, and it's weird, man. I don't want to say it because it's kind of a bit strange, but I get a really big feeling that Samoa might be able to knock off Tonga in those quarters. I really get a feeling like after all the nonsense of hearing that Samoa was gone down and after that first week and whatnot, I don't see Samoa winning the World Cup by any stretch, but for some reason I feel like they could take down Tonga. Unless Tonga can really prove themselves again, I really think that Samoa could turn it around. Because what did I tell you guys last week? I said even though they've lost, they're a hype team, they're a motivation team, they're a team that needs to go on a bit of a roll, right? They had no warm-up match. So they lost that first game, they got pumped, it hurt the ego. These Pants boys are all about their wank job egos, right? They're all about their egos. So they lose that game, they're like, okay, we need to bounce back here. We need to bounce back well here too. So what do? They go and bounce and win, 72-4 against the Greeks. Let's quickly go over here. It was, 72-4 against Greece. Okay, cool. They bounced back well. Okay, now we're starting to feel we're back in business, baby. We're back in business. Next week, they take on France. Okay, France lost their second game. Weren't that great in the first game against the Greeks, but didn't win the game there. It's a big game. Need to win it. Must win. But I think Samoa was going to win by a decent amount. So they're going to be like, oh, shit, all right, 2 in a row now. We're starting to feel good with it. We're back in business. And then they take on Tonga. And that game is a 50-50 because those two nations are the biggest rivals when it comes to each other, right? Samoa and Tonga, biggest rivals when it comes to sport. Look, obviously in regards to those two nations, not the biggest in regards to the world, but those two nations, and it will get feisty. And I tell you right now, you look at it player for player, the back line of Samoa is better than the back line of Samoa's is despite the injuries, is still better than Tonga's. But the forward line of Tonga is what definitely beats out the Samoans. So this Samoan team is also very, very injured, mind you. They've got a lot of injuries. Can we see the ins and outs here? Will it show us the ins and outs? It's not going to show us the ins and outs, but there was a lot of ins and outs. Before the game there. Martin says, I'm at least happy that Lebanon made the quarterfinals. They have made the quarterfinals, yeah. Top 3 New Zealand, Oz, England. Rosa Thomas says Kuraz and Napa. Brighton Roberts says Lebanon give New Zealand a good test. Then the week after they aren't the favourites against Ireland. Bookies, what do you want about? Yeah, it made no sense at all, man. Made no sense at all. But good for us, man. Good for us. Laffoy looks way different now. Yeah, he looks better. Maybe because he's not at the Dogs anymore. No, he was at the Dogs at a good time too, when they were actually playing pretty well. Yeah, Dane Levi played pretty great. He did. Daniel says, damn, if only Harris Savita wasn't taking a break from the NRL, could be a potential superstar for Samoa Warriors. Well, he's had his opportunity for the Warriors. It's not like he's not had his opportunity. He's definitely had his years there, and he's not really done anything for the Warriors. So, yeah, look, he can say, maybe I'm going to stick around. Maybe I'm feeling good about myself and I want to stick around and play for the Warriors, because they will need him. Like, who are their halves next year? Sean Johnson, who is definitely not the Sean Johnson of old, and I can't remember who their 5'8" is. So, yeah, look, I don't know what the Warriors are doing next year in regards to their halves. Martin says, why did the commentators say Lebanon as Lebanon? Did they really? Well, there you go. There's another point of just stupidity from the commentary. Nimiki Lawal says, Dalmatati Selesny, a great try, and I loved Cramp try. I don't know what that is. Kevin Agosta says, besides the fact it was just Greece, Samoa definitely showed improvement. Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. You can't score 72 points and not be happy with the change of direction, especially after a 60-point flogging by the English the week before. Absolutely. Dasma says, this World Cup hasn't been as bad as some of the scores say. I would agree. I think that most people who think this World Cup is really, really boring and bad are people who haven't been watching the actual games. I think that, yes, obviously there are games that have been quite dead. Let's go have a quick little look. What were we saying in regards to the dead games? Let's go draw. No, World Cup. Okay, so, like for example, England-Samoa was interesting because of how much this team got beaten by. Australia-Fiji was actually quite a good game for the most part. Australia won convincingly, but Fiji were pretty good, but you wouldn't see that from the score. Italy played really fast footy here. I actually liked this game between Italy and Scotland. Italy were the better team by a long stretch. They were the massive underdogs too, 5-1 underdogs against Scotland, and got a good win. Didn't mind that game. This game was a drag. This game was an absolute drag between Ireland and Jamaica. New Zealand-Lebanon was pretty fun to watch. That was a really close game for the most part. And then obviously we saw the red card, send-off to Adam Dewey, plus also the controversy. This game was actually quite fun to watch. France versus Greece was good because Greece actually played quite well for the most part too, and France didn't play great. It was actually it wasn't a blowout, that's for sure. Scoreline doesn't suggest that though, but yeah, Greece played alright. Tonga versus Papua New Guinea, game of the World Cup so far, incredible, but Papua New Guinea got robbed. Cook Islands and Wales, that was a bit of a shitter. Like, it was close and it came down to the final play, but it was also quite boring for the most part. But yeah, look, it was close at least, and it made it exciting in the last little stretch. 84-0 over Scotland for Australia. If you're Australian, you love this game. If you're not Australian, you didn't love this game. I can understand why people would think that was boring, but for me as an Australian, and for a lot of other Australians out there, you'd love to watch that shit. Fiji versus Italy, I think it was good to see Fiji bounce back and be kind of the team that they are, but in the same sense, I can understand why people would have found that game boring. I do love Fiji too, so yeah, I can understand why people would have found that game boring, but I thought it was still alright. England versus France was a good game until the referee didn't call a forward pass for England. That ended up being a try that was 12 points, then it became 18 points and started to blow out. So yeah, it was a good close game until the referee decided to be a muppet. This game was fun because it was Jamaica. And I didn't really mind it at all. It was actually no. This was a drag until the 75th minute. When they scored the try, Jamaica, it made the game feel a bit better. Yeah, that was actually a really bad game. No, New Zealand versus Jamaica was actually a really shit-house game. But when Jamaica scored the try, it made it feel like it was a good game to watch. Lebanon, Ireland was a bit dead. Ireland never looked good, made so many mistakes. Lebanon were the better team. That was a bit of a shit game. This game was fun to watch because Samoa just absolutely ran rampant. That was a fun one. These two games here, this will be a dominant Tonga win, and this should be a pretty dominant Papua New Guinea win as well. It should be, absolutely. Namiki says, Fox is back, he never left. Jamaica's try celebration was sick. Yeah, of course. It was always going to be a very big celebration for its country that's never scored before. Brunswick Jagger says, keyboard warriors on Facebook are annoying. Oh, they're all over the place. We had one last night on one of the streams. Cocomelon Rules says, not surprised Samoa smashed Greece, it was obvious. I think you say that now. I was saying that beforehand, but people didn't necessarily believe that before. I definitely kept saying that it was going to be a blowout, and I definitely thought that Samoa was going to win that game quite considerably. But not everyone did, man. Not everyone did. They thought that Samoa were really going to struggle in this World Cup, and look, you're not completely off it to believe as much, because obviously they did not show anything. They really did not show anything in that game against the English. So yeah, look, it wasn't. Let's put that down there. It wasn't anything fantastic for them for people to start believing in. Biggie Shakes' best moment of the week was Jamaica's first ever try in the World Cup. I would say, best moment of the week. Yeah, Jamaica's first ever try in the World Cup was pretty fun to watch, but I would also say that the Australian try, Josh Adokar and Matt Burton, was also unreal to watch as well. John Davies is not so interested in the World Cup until we get some better games. All these high-scoring games like watching Titans lose every week. Well, Titans won the last 3 out of the last 4 games. Like, guys, you're going to insult me. You're going to do better than that because, like, I know that the Titans won the last 3 out of 4 games, and 3 of those games were actually quite exciting. The Titans-Warriors game was incredibly exciting when they won the last game of the season. So, yeah, look, obviously you want to shoot the Titans. That's cool, bro. But I'm confident in my team next season. I'm there, win, lose, or draw. So I'm not a fair weather fan like someone like you, obviously, who can't watch a game just because of a high score or because their team's losing. Like, shit, bro. Cool story. Tipo Kafusi says, I swear if David Fair doesn't play more than 20 minutes. Yeah, he's on the bench, though. He is on the bench. Let's go have a look at the team list here for Tonga. Let's go have a look at the team list here for Tonga. Alrighty, so team list, we've got Tonga Takwata fullback, I don't mind it, Tupou and Sona Katoa on the wings, Will Penasini and Conrad Horrell in the centres. Centre pairing's a bit iffy. Tui Moala Lola here is the 7, Tuptown Mo is the 6. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I would have preferred a Sakatoa. But then again, I guess he's swapping it around because it is only Wales. Adfanor Blake and Tavia Totola. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Front row. This is stupid. Kalamatane the hooker is a stupid play. Felice Kafusi and Hamoli Lakawachi back row. Siasia Takiaho is the 13. Talakai, Sonny Luke, Mikey Fodawaker, and Dave Fafita as the bench, and then Tessinu and Ben Manapasilla on the reserves. So, look, I think the Dave Fafita definitely should be in the starting lineup, but obviously, I think what Wolf's doing is waiting for the finals with Dave Fafita. I think he's trying to make sure he doesn't get injured. But this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, and for him to come out and defend that performance from Kalamatangi, like, I'm sorry, but Kalamatangi threw no passes backwards. Like, that whole game. That whole game, he never threw a pass backwards. Just throwing that out there. James Paul says, man, it will be hard to organise these quality of games. Props to you for your dedication and passion. Appreciate it, dude. James McLaughlin says, coming home slowly, cooking up something good. It can't be coming home because you've never won the World Cup before. So how's it coming home? So what you're saying is it's come back to Australia, is it? Because obviously that's home. 8 of the last 9 World Cups would represent home because England's never won the World Cup before. Thanks for coming. George says, the guy who scored for Jamaica, did he play for England before? Ben Jones Bishop, I'm not too sure, man. James McLaughlin, incorrect. We have not won it 3 times. That was not a professional competition back then, and it was also Great Britain. So that was when you had Ireland and Wales and the likes in there. You are incorrect. You have not won it 3 times. That was not a professional competition back then, and it was also classed as Great Britain. So England has never won the World Cup. Thanks for coming. Try again. Biggie Shacks is watching the Fox live at the World Cup makes me wonder why he wasn't selected for New South Wales. Absolutely. I was arguing it the entire time. I've been arguing it since before the Origin started. I kept telling you guys, I think that Adokar should be starting as the winger over Tupou, but people did agree, but it's just, Fiddler didn't. New Zealand versus Wales upset. Yeah, good luck with that one. James McLaughlin says in 1966 was not a pro comp. It still counts. No, it doesn't. It wasn't a professional competition, and it wasn't England. It was Great Britain. Thanks for coming. Brian Wilson says, pull out the Bible to get that into your James, ancient history. Oh, yeah, no, it's easy. Like, these English guys, it really makes no sense because it just makes their country look worse. I'm not here to shit on England. I'm not here to shit on England at all. But, when you say stupid shit, you're going to get, brought up on it. And obviously James doesn't know anything about this game because, 1, he would know that it wasn't England, it was Great Britain. And 2, he would know that was not a professional competition. And 3, you would know that it doesn't actually count. It doesn't actually count. So, thanks for coming. James says, talking about football or soccer in 1966. What the shit are you talking about? Football or soccer? You muppet. We're on a Rugby League World Cup stream, 1966. What, you just wait? Can you wait 3 weeks so we can do the FIFA World Cup in a bit? What the shit are you doing, champion? That was a professional competition. Are you on the same planet as us? Hello? Are you on the same planet as us, James? Gee whiz, man. The biggest muppet that ever did muppet. What are you doing? Well, this is not a FIFA World Cup stream. We'll do the FIFA World Cup streams in about 2 weeks. We'll start doing FIFA World Cup streams about a week to go before the games start. So, when about in 1966? Oh, dear me. What? That was like 30 years before I was born too, mind you. CP Tigers' Warriors will be better next year, you think? We'll talk about the NRL a little bit later. After the FIFA World Cup, which is what James' buddy, waffling on about. Master Soda says, rather have Ada Hingano at 5'8" than Telltale Moan. I haven't heard the name Ada Hingano for a long time. I haven't heard that name for a long time, to be fair. Seed Fieldmus says, Telltale Moan sucks. His game management sucks. Why not have Lolohea, fullback, and Katoa and a Moan pair up? So, see, the reason why is because obviously this is just a game against Wales. They're going to win this game. If Tonga don't win this game, there'll be riots in the streets. Tonga win this game, right? But yeah, I don't agree with what Wolf's done throughout this tournament so far. But if it could still work out, I think he's just waiting for Fafita to be really utilised in the finals. Because otherwise, this doesn't make sense. And he's also just giving other guys a chance. I don't like Amon in regards to his playing skills. I don't think it's as good as people make it out to be. Obviously, there are other channels out there and other social medias out there who wank on about all these different players and say everyone's going to be good. No, it's not necessarily correct. They're not necessarily going to be good. And they'll be like, oh, but he's playing for Tonga, so that must mean he's pretty good. And it's like, well, no, they just don't really have too much options in the spine, realistically. Comparatively to other 5'8", comparatively to other halves in the competition, Amon's just simply not that great. And if it was, any other team, he would not be even getting a sniff in for any other team. So, look, Amon had potential, hasn't lived up to potential. Prove me wrong, man. Prove me wrong. Go out there and get the job done. But for the time being, you're not proving me wrong. So, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think this should be in the squad. But give him a chance. Give him a chance in this game against Wales. Brunswick says, could he's with the Bulldogs. Super Tigers says the Warriors will be there next. I already read that comment. New Zealand Root says Cook Islands upset. What's you smoking? You're smoking something. You're like on James McLaughlin stuff. James Paul says, we need to see an American team in this. They'd get pumped though. We did. They were in the 2017 World Cup, I think. I think my boy Charlie Jones was playing from them. My boy Charlie Jones. David says, Great Britain and England are different. Yeah, but he's not talking about Rugby League World Cup for some reason. He's talking about he's talking about the FIFA World Cup, the Muppet Man. Dear me. Demi says Tonga is going to win this game. You'd hope so. James says, I'm talking about when in England, won in 66, it wasn't a pro comp, it's the same when we won the Rugby 1 3 times. You have not won the Rugby League World Cup. You have not won the Rugby League World Cup. You're making yourself look dumb here, brother. It's a fact. England have never won the Rugby League World Cup. One, it's not a professional competition, which means it's not counted towards the professional Rugby League World Cups. Secondly, it wasn't England. It was Great Britain. Thirdly, you're a muppet. Roger says, James, the drinks like Vossi last night? Absolutely. Camilla Rule says, me too, I love my Sunborn boys, no beef. Biggie Shack says, a spike in sin bins this week, 3 in Lebanon versus Ireland. 3 in Lebanon, was there really? I couldn't even remember that. Oh, that's right, there was 2 really late, wasn't there? The last 10 minutes of the game or something like that, and 1 each in England versus France and Samoa versus Greece. Yeah, there was, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Actually, Hingano was an absolute mastermind in Super League. Yeah, geez, I haven't heard his name for ages. Who did he play for in the NRL? I think he played maybe... It wasn't Tigers, was it? Did he play Tigers, or was it the Panthers in their really tough times? I can't remember. Who did he play for in the NRL? Australia's always dog walking England, bro. Oh, we know that. Rosa Tomo, say that louder for the people at the back, just so they can hear you. Make sure, hey, everyone up there, you know that Australia always dog walking English? Oh, no, we know. Oh, you know that? Oh, good. Okay, sweet. Yeah, no worries, mate. Rosa Tomo says, why not kick Katoa kick there? He was exciting, played well in the first game. It's against Wales, they're going to win. They're just giving other guys a go. You know what I'm saying? Cookmelon Rule says the Tigers going to win the World Cup. Here we go. Brunswick says they lost to Jamaica to qualify for the World Cup. They did, yeah. USA lost to Jamaica, and USA aren't great, lads, because they've been trying to get this NARL thing going for ages. Let me go and quickly let's like Google this for a second here. Is the NARL starting? Not the NRL, NARL. All right, let's go here. Okay, so it's got 25th of January 2022 here. That's the fixtures release. I don't think they had an NARL. I don't think they did. I don't think it went ahead. It's still struggling to get through. Here we go. Yeah, 8th of August. We'll go with this one. No LA team equals no comp. No, it's no Chicago team, Daz, mate. Get with the time. Come on, mate. No Chicago team, no competition. All right, back in 2014, the Toronto Wolfpack created buzz around North America for rugby league fans. The Canadian team would be first to cross the Atlantic to compete in the UK's League One. With the approval of the Rugby League Football League, the Wolfpack began a multi-year quest to advance the Championship and then Super League. That all went to shit, didn't it? By 2019, the Wolfpack represented North American Super League, but a stalled 2027. Yeah, this is just not going ahead. March 2021, less than a year later, the Wolfpack returned with another surprise announcement. A private investment group had bought the club, and that the group planned on forming and launching a joint North American Rugby League between the US and Canada. Still, despite announcements of May 2022 start, there's no word on the NARL's kickoff date. Well, it definitely didn't start May 2022. Like, if the NARL want a commentator, I'm here for you, man. I'd love to support you and stream your games and whatnot and get around it. But, man, like, this is a schmozzle. It really is a schmozzle. Actually, I'm not even going to continue watching it. Look at that. Sort your shit out. Because I really would love to see America get a better team. I really would love it. I'd love to see America do well. Because even though they don't really care too much about rugby league, if it was on at a good time for them, they'd watch it. Because they actually... Americans are weird, right? Americans are weird in the sense that, like, they always say, if you bring up rugby league, they're like, oh, that's an awesome game. Like, they love it. But it's on at a shit time for them. And they've got the NFL, right? So, if it's on at a good time for them, I guarantee you they'll watch it. And you'll get fans. So, I don't mind taking a World Cup to the US because they will turn up at games. Maybe not to Jamaica versus... Oh, Jamaica might get a few still because that's where their population is over there. Maybe not to... You'll get heaps of Samoans at Samoa games. You'll get heaps of Aussies go over. Kiwis, Fijians, there's heaps over there as well. You have to go West Coast, though, for the island games because there's a heap of islanders and Samoans, Tongas, Fijians, and the likes over there. Who wouldn't get a big crowd there? Maybe not like France versus the Cook Islands, but overall, like that would be a very... Papua New Guinea wouldn't get a huge amount of people to that game, that's for sure. But yeah, America's a really good place to take a World Cup to. It is. It's better than England and France, that's for sure. Super Tigers, if there is NRL news, Warriors signed Wade Graham. No. What year was Australia's best side? Oof. Geez, probably when they had the likes of Darren Lockyer in the team. Was Darren Lockyer in the team at the same time as Andrew Johns? Maybe. I don't know, that would have been really early 2000s. Remember the lesson taught from the Ashes, Australia's England's dad. We are England's dad. Did you know that one as well? They knew that one as well. They knew that one as well, yeah. And Adam says, no LA team equals no combo. Oh, no. Cocomelon Rule says, looking fresh, my bro. Well, I'm smacking out my fitness program right now. If you guys aren't following me on BKRsport Instagram. Actually, you know what? Every single person here watching right now. How many people got watching? We've got 40 people watching. I want to see at least 10 more followers on BKRsport Instagram. Go and follow it. Get around. Go to BKRsport on Instagram right now. Give us a follow. That's why it says the Wolfpack got kicked out of the Super League. Yeah, we know, yeah. It's shocking movement there. Super Tiger says there is... No. Dave says they had a pre-season game between Cleveland and Atlanta earlier this year. They had no way of watching it. Well, that's just silly, isn't it? You had a pre-season game between Cleveland and Atlanta and no way watching it. This is meant to be the biggest country in the world. Like, how do they not have... Even their low broadcasting quality... American television is strange, but even their low broadcasting quality, you'd still think you'd be able to find a way to put it onto YouTube or something. Master says, is Luai and Harris Avita a better half combo than Luai and Milford? Absolutely. Brunswick says, 2008 Australia squad was good despite losing the World Cup. It was good, but yeah, it was just unfortunate that they made that really costly error with Billy Schlatter. Oh no. Hazard King says, sad about Italy, but so proud of the lads. Zero Baby. Oh, they got pumped. Yeah, they got pumped, man. I wouldn't be proud of that effort. I'd be proud of the last week's effort, though. Like, I'm sorry, but I couldn't say that you should be proud of this Fiji versus Italy effort here. But I definitely think that in regards to the last week's game against Scotland, you definitely take that. You're obviously not going to have a good game next week, though, because Australia is going to really shit on Italy. They are going to put a score through them. They're going to put a score through them, man. Which is not going to be great for them. Not going to be great at all. Dazzler and Joey in the same team is filthy. You're absolutely right. Actually, let's go and have a look at that too. Let's go and have a look at 2014. Guys, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're around here. 2004 Australia. Was it 2004? Rugby League World Cup team. Was it 2004? World Cups are weird. No, that was Tri-Nations. Was it 2003 then? Because World Cups are weird. Sometimes they're... Rugby League World Cup, 2003. Okay, Rugby League World Cup squads. Here we go. No, that's Rugby Union. No, wrong one. Let's go there. Swap that bad boy over. Bang. So 2025. Oh wait, do they have 2029? Have they said where it's going to be? Hold on a second. Have they said where 2029 is going to be? Click on 2029. Article about Men's World Cup. Rugby League World Cup is an international rugby league tournament caused by... Have they announced where the 2029 World Cup is yet? I don't think so. I don't think so. I really hope it's in Australia, though. Or do they announce it after this? Hey, will you look at that? Hey, look. Hey, England's never won, James. Hey, England's never won. Shut your mouth. Shut your... Oh, look at this. Groups of knockout era. So what, you're telling me it wasn't even professional? Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut up at your face. Shut up at your face. 2029, yeah, it hasn't been said yet. Hasn't been said. Dear me. It was actually, I think it was professional around maybe 75 or 77, one of those two. Logan Paul takes place doing a fitness seriously to make a Titans debut and give the Titans a proper winger. Mate, we're going to be flying. Absolutely flying here. Oh, so they hosted in England, France, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. So why is this only in England? We should have done that. We should have had that. That would have been good. We would have seen better crowds if we'd done that. Cody Monroe says, one time an exchange student from USA came to my school in New Zealand. He saw me and my friends playing rugby. He said that looks so easy to play. Once he played, he got absolutely hammered. Yeah, well, he's an idiot. Well, he's an idiot if he thought that. He said that looks so easy to play. American football definitely looks easier to play than rugby. Definitely. Yeah. So yeah, no, 2029. No, I wanted to look at the Australian team. I want to see if it gives us the Australian lineup. Give us the Australian lineup from like 2003 or 2003. What was was it the 2003 World Cup? 2008. 2000 World Cup. All right, let's go back. The 2000 World Cup. See, that's what I mean. Like there was no World Cup between. There was no World Cup between 2009 and 2008. Really strange. All right, here we go. Wait, what's this one? No, this isn't. This is not 2000 because it's got Billy Slater, Inglis, and Folau. Well, geez, this is a good team anyway. Like, geez, Billy Slater, Joel Monahan, Greg Inglis, Israel Folau, Brent Tate, Darren Lockyer, Scotty Prince, Pedro 70 cents a litre. You got Cameron Smith, Stevie Price, Brett Stewart from Manly, Anthony LaFranchi, big fella LaFranchi, Paul Gallen, interchange, Brent Kite and Perry. Was that Josh Perry? No, it wasn't Josh Perry, was it? Who was Perry? Tupou and was that Carmichael Hunt? Dear me. LaFranchi scored 2 tries. Boy, oh boy. Inglis 3, Slater 3, and then LaFranchi 2 tries. Wowee. What a team. That is an incredible team. That was 13 years old. So this is in 2008, is it? That is okay. Let's get away from that year, sir. Let's get away from that year, sir. That's yeah. I meant to do 2000. That's why. Let's do 2000. Scotty Prince, Benji Combo was a madness for Tigers back in the day. It was, yeah, it was. 2000 Rugby League squads. Here we go. Well, this one will tell us a lot. This one will show us. All right, let's go down here. Who was in it? We had Australia, England, Fiji, Russia. Oh yeah, that's right. We won by 110 points over Russia in this one. Lebanon, Papua New Guinea. Who else? South Africa was there. Well, they had Aotearoa. They had a Māori team. That's interesting. Didn't even know that. Alright, so let's go have a look at Australia. So they had Brady Fittler, Trent Barrett, Darren Britton-Shaw, Jason Croker, Brian Fletcher, Matty Gidley, Ryan Girdler, Craig Gower, Scott Hill, Nathan Highmarsh, Andrew Johns, Robbie Kearns, Ben Candy, big forward, Brett Camorley, Darren Lockyer, Adam McDougall, Matty Rogers, Wendell Saylor. Geez, this team's insane. Shane Webke, Gordon Towers, Jason Stevens, Michael Vela, and that's an incredible team. That is a really good team. Wow. Hazard King says, thoughts on round 1 game of the regular season being played in the US? Yeah, but it has to be like a Dallas Cowboys, North Queensland Cowboys versus, you wouldn't take a Tennessee Titans, Gold Coast Titans. You'd take you'd do the New Zealand Warriors. No, you wouldn't take a Warriors game to San Francisco. You would do I think we spoke about this before though. We have spoken about this before. What you would do is you'd tie in 2 names together and take them there. Oh, that's right. Las Vegas Raiders, Canberra Raiders, Brisbane Broncos, Denver Broncos. Yeah, because the Las Vegas Raiders and Denver Broncos hate each other. So, Brisbane Broncos and Canberra Raiders, send them there. It's not a big draw. No one really gives a shit about that. But then again, apparently Brisbane's taken on Redcliffe, so that could be taken out there. That could be taken out. So you take out Broncos and Raiders, but that's probably the best option. Probably is the best option there. James Paul says, Shaq O'Neal says rugby league is the most brutal sport he's ever seen. Yeah, of course, because they've got no pads. But then again, pads make it hard too. Margaret says, I was a strong favourites at $1.44, New Zealand next at $5. Yeah, Australia win the World Cup. I remember you said Eagles versus Cowboys. Eagles Cowboys is a great shout. Yeah, Manly versus North Queensland is a great shout, but you have it in Dallas. You have it in Dallas, I reckon. Yeah, especially with the fact that Manly's season next year could be a bit of a wash too. So may as well send Manly to America. North Queensland start off there, play in Dallas. But then again, you want to have it on the East Coast. You want to have it on the West Coast because the time zone's good there. So then what it comes down to, Rams, Chargers, Kings, Lakers, Clippers. There's no real LA teams there. Cardinals. Like I said, Las Vegas. You have to have the Canberra Raiders. Have the Canberra Raiders played in Vegas. I think that's the best shout. Canberra Raiders home game, Las Vegas. That's the best shout, 100% guaranteed. And then you just got to figure out whether it's the Denver Broncos for the Brisbane Broncos, or you wouldn't take a Titans game there. But then again, the Americans don't know who the good teams are and the bad teams are, right? So taking over a bad team isn't necessarily a bad shout, because they're not going to know whether it's good or bad realistically, right? So you could take a Titans, you could take the Vegas Golden Knights, actually. So you could have the Newcastle Knights taking on the Canberra Raiders, because there's actually two Las Vegas teams that both have those teams in it. The Newcastle Knights, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and then the Canberra Raiders, which will be the Las Vegas Raiders. No one's going to the Nebraska Cornfields, you muppet. Bulldogs play with the Georgia Bulldogs play? No one wants to watch the Bulldogs play. Yeah, we want them to watch a quality game at least. But they're not going to know. They're not going to know. They're not there for that, really. Sasha Kelson says, bring back the Adelaide Rams and send them to LA. That's a shout. Canberra Raiders versus the Brisbane Broncos since Denver and Las Vegas in the same division. Well, that's what I was saying, but I think Broncos are playing against Redcliffe in the first game, so I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to take somebody else over, because I'm pretty certain they'll use Broncos to take on the Dolphins in the first game at Suncorp. Hazard Kings, what about teams that are exciting to watch, like teams that aren't necessarily good but entertaining, kind of like a Globetrotters team? Well, it really does depend, because there's so many contexts, there's so many factors that you have to weigh in. Otherwise, Broncos and Raiders is the best shout if it wasn't for the fact that they want to put Redcliffe against them first up. Otherwise, that would be the best shout by a country mile there. We're going to stay on for about 12 more minutes, guys. Obviously, we'll be up live again for Tonga versus Wales at 4 in the morning. So shoot through your final questions here, and then we'll be jumping off. It's just a short little stream tonight. But yeah, we'll go back up in the morning at 4 a.m. for that one. But yeah, look, I think that the best option realistically is Broncos versus Raiders, due to the fact that they've got the Las Vegas versus Denver rivalry in the same division. Or you think Knights and Raiders, because Knights, obviously the Vegas Golden Knights for the hockey, and then Las Vegas Raiders for the NFL. James Paul says, you're going to sleep and wake up? Yeah, I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to go for a run after this for about 45 minutes, and then come back and I'll sleep, get up at about 3 in the morning, 3:30, and then, stream again. That's how we do it, man. I was originally trying to do like a schedule where I would sleep in the day and then wake up at night, but it's more intermittent sleeping. I decided to go into an intermittent sleeping schedule to be able to stream these games, because it just is too tough. I'm not a big fan of the old sleep in the day, wake up at night. Never have been. But yeah, it's going to be a video that I'm going to bring out after the World Cup, after the group stages, where it's going to be the players that the NRL clubs could look to sign, or one player from each World Cup team that would suit one team in the NRL, absolutely. And I think Penioni Tangatuamua, he'll get a shout out, that's for sure. You'll probably see Mitsias from Greece as well, he'll get a shout out. What if there's a time that finals what will happen? It goes extra time. No one from Scotland gets a shout out. Jack Wellsby probably gets a shout. France, no one really. Not many others realistically, but Edward Ibape from the Papua New Guinea as well. We'll go to extra time, Golden Point. Yeah, Golden Point. I don't think extra time is a thing in World Cups. That's only an NRL thing at the moment. Maybe Mason from Ridley, but he's from the Sunshine Coast, he's already kind of there. Denzelli is 7'9", 7'10" actually. What about a grand final rematch with the US? That would be the silliest thing I've ever seen. You want to get good money for it here. Like, there's no way you would take such a big game away from the fans. No way. No, that's disrespectful to Panthers and Eels fans, and especially with it being a Western rivalry. No chance. No chance at all. Malcolm, that's disrespectful to the fans of those clubs there. And also to the game here in Australia, because it would just be, silly. And you wouldn't take it to Carolina, and there is no Eels team, so, no. Malcolm, they take 3 hours just to fall asleep. Fair enough. Logan Balzic says, Paulo and Turpin to the Trooks, what is happening? Oh, Jackson Paulo. I thought you were saying Junior Paulo. I was like, that is a big signing. There's no way they could afford that. But yeah, Jackson Paulo, it's not that big. Like, Turpin's not great, and Jackson Paulo has been made fun of by you guys for a long time. Like, it's not that big. That is not huge. It's just, okay, they signed a couple of players. But yeah, Jackson Paulo has been made fun of by everyone for ages. He had a horrible point in this season where he was the main scapegoat at points. Has Kingston I read the title of the article and also shat bricks until I realised it was Jackson. Yeah, Junior Paulo wouldn't be going there. It'd be something super strange to see that. Namiki says Teddy has not ingenated yet. Are you saying re-signed? Teddy will stay at the Roosters. He will never leave the Roosters. Teddy will stay at the Roosters until the end of his career. I have heard rumours, obviously, that Mitchell Moses is being sought after by the Eels. Not the Eels, sorry, the Tigers. But I don't think he'll go either. And if he does go, then it'll be super strange. But I think Parramatta are going into a rebuild now. And I've been saying this for years. This was their chance. They didn't do it. They're going to a rebuild. And it's going to be really interesting to see how Parramatta cope, because Mitchell Moses could see that and then say, you know what, Tigers might be on the up. They've got Reid Marnie now. They've also got Isaiah Papali'i. Not Reid Marnie, sorry. They've got Api Kottasau now. They've got Isaiah Papali'i. You know, maybe he could go and work with Luke Brooks. I don't know. Like, he might see that as a good venture, because the Eels are going to go into a rebuilding stage. He left the Tigers to start with. That's fine, but they were not at a good stage. They were still shocking. Because I've been to the gym too, trying to turn my twig arms into branches. Mate, I'm like The Rock already. If Mitch goes and we've got the Muppets like Jake Arthur, I think that you'll look to the open market. But yeah, Parramatta are definitely about to go into a rebuild for me. Definitely. But then again, the Dragons have been looking likely to go into a rebuild for 10 years now, and they refuse to. They continuously refuse to go into a rebuild. So you never know, mate. you never know. You never know with these teams. Sometimes they just don't see what's realistically in front of them. And it's pretty disappointing with the Dragons, because they are clearly the most boring team in the competition. They've got no oomph there. And the Dragons are really starting to implode quite a bit too, because ex-players are coming in saying how shit they're looking. You know, you've got the fans saying how boring they are. You've got people like me on social media saying how shocking they are and how they need to go into rebuild. And that reinforces your mind. So even if you're not thinking about that, by listening to me say it, it then goes back into your mind, and then you think about it like, oh, if he's saying it and I'm thinking it and other people are saying it, then it's probably going to be, on the mark here, and it puts more pressure on the Dragons. It's another reason why I'm always bringing it up, because I want to put pressure on the Dragons to actually go into a rebuild and actually change what they're doing there, because they're not doing it. They're not. And Mickey says, hate the Rugby League World Cup commentary. Well, that's why you should be listening to BKRsport. We're here for every single game. Hazard King says, even if we lose Moses, we do have some decent talent come up in the halves. No, you don't. Arthur is getting better. No, it's not. Hands is ripping it in the reserves. Cool. Louis is coming up from flag. I am not... No. I know you're going to defend the Eels, bro, but from an outside perspective, no. Cocomelon Rule says, how much money would you put on the Panthers? We'll get the wooden spoon. Well, that's just a stupid question. Hazard King says, Arthur is young. He's clearly not a prodigy, but he can only get better. Arthur's not good. No, cool. Okay, he scored a try in the grand final, but Arthur's not great. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. I'm straight up honest with you, man. Arthur's not great. I know you want to ideally some swan song story, but the only reason he's getting selected is because his father is the coach. It's the exact same thing with Billy Walters. Billy Walters just got re-signed, again, because his father is the coach. Billy Walters would not be getting anywhere else. He would not be getting a spot. He shouldn't be getting a spot for the Broncos. He's not good either. The Broncos have got about 1 billion hookers right now, but, all of them are pretty average. The Eels are definitely going to a rebuild stage for me. Johnson fullback, why? Johnson should be fullback. They've got wingers here. Why would you want to have solidity on that fullback? There's no one better here. You wouldn't put Nana McDonald back there. Dan Russell if he had have not just put his foot over the sideline, it would have been very good last week. Roderick Ty was good last week. Justin Olam and McDonald saying this is a really good backline. It really is. It's a solid backline. So no, I like this team selection here, especially with Alex Johnson as a fullback. It very much is unfortunate though that Xavier Coates is out for the rest of the season though. Oh, sorry, out for the rest of the World Cup. And Suwali the fullback, not winger. No, Suwali definitely is a winger, not a fullback. He should not be playing as a fullback. But then again, they've not really got anybody now at Samoa to take over that role there, because Hamiso would have been the guy to put into that fullback role. Hamiso would have been the guy there, but obviously now Hamiso's out for the rest of the World Cup, so they can't do that. They're going to keep Suwali there, but Suwali's not really a great fullback, to be fair. Jet says, hello mate, nice to meet you. Good on you, man. Who you go for, Jet? Hazard King says, hasn't Olam played fullback before? You wouldn't put him in fullback. If he has played fullback, that'd be the weirdest thing. I definitely wouldn't be thinking that Olam's a fullback, that's for sure. Siri says, I was so happy when Jamaica scored. Yeah, it was very good, especially at that game, because it was such a boring game until that. Like, that was one of the worst games until that moment. But then when they did it, yeah, it was absolutely, it was incredible. Taylor Toller says, get your Pape into the NRL. I agree, Taylor. I agree. And I'll be, like I said, I'll be doing a video and I'll be giving him a shout out afterwards. All the Papua New Guineans on my streams throughout, preview videos and review videos and World Cup live streams. People have been saying, please, look out for Edwin Pape. He's going to be huge, he's going to be massive. And I'll be like, okay, well, I don't know about him, but I'll take your word for it. I'll watch out for him. But then, yeah, he was incredible against Tonga. Definitely the player of the match there. And no, I look forward to seeing what he can do tomorrow. Tomorrow, on Tuesday Wednesday against the Cook Islands. Savage thoughts on Matt Feeney. I thought Matt Feeney was fine. Yeah, I thought Matty Feeney was fine there. I don't think he was anything spectacular, but I definitely think that he was fine and did the job. He's not meant to be a guy that necessarily is going to be a spectacular winger. Obviously, he's at the Dragons. Yeah, he's at the Dragons, and I know Max. I think both the Feeney boys are the Dragons, aren't they? But yeah, they've got enough star talent here that they can have that really big boom player to really take a hold of the game. Matt Feeney is not expecting for that, but no, yeah, he was good last night. I think how many tries did he score? I think he scored maybe 2 tries. 2 tries. Let's go here. Can it show it? Oh, here we go. Up here. No, he only scored 1 try. 1 try late. Yeah, 1 try late. Yeah, both Feeney boys are the Drags. Yeah. Jess, I'm part of the Fijians. What about you? I'm Australian, man, but obviously I love Fiji because my daughter is a returning Fijian, so I'm always getting around the odd Fiji, the Fiji buddy. Yeah, they played really well last night, really, really well. I was really encouraged by how they played, so they'll definitely come in second in the group and they'll take on New Zealand. And I honestly, if New Zealand keep playing like the way they do, I would not be crazy surprised if Fiji do a surprise and beat New Zealand. Toto has the best impression so far. Yeah, Toto's been fine. That's right. Society Solossi says, Siteni Takamo for Greece. That is a proper Tongan name. Yeah, that definitely is definitely an islander name, that's for sure. That is definitely an islander name for sure. But guys, I think we're going to jump off FIFA now. Roos vs Kiwis Grand Final. It's not possible. Nemeki. It is not possible. Australia cannot play New Zealand in the final, man. It's not possible, man. My God, man. Exactly right, Jay. Someone to say it again. Nemegi, Australia can only play New Zealand in the semi-final. Australia, New Zealand, Fiji Lebanon are on their side of the groups. And then on the other side, you've got England, Samoa, Tonga, and Papua New Guinea. That's how it works out. Those are the 2 sides. There's no Australia versus the Kiwis. Oh no. The only reason I respond to you like this is because we get this question so many times. So many times. Jackson, there's always going to be someone that says it every stream. I really want to say that. You'll see Australia versus New Zealand, but in the semi-finals, unless Fiji can beat New Zealand, because I do honestly give them a shout. I do. Tonga versus Australia Grand Final is a shout, but obviously, yeah, England are a very good chance. But I really think the Papua New Guinea can surprise too. I really can. But guys, I'm going to jump off for now. We'll be back on at 4 a.m. in the morning for the Tonga versus Wales game. I appreciate you for tuning in as per usual. yeah, it's pretty good. So we've got 2 games to go here. Like I said, Tonga, Wales, and then on Wednesday we're showing Papua New Guinea versus the Cook Islands, which is going to be a fantastic one to see. But yeah, obviously hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I will see you guys in the morning at 4 a.m. if you're up and ready to rock and roll. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.